Hey everyone, this is Steve Kitt with the MMLA, bringing you the second episode of the MMLA podcast. Today, I have an extra special guest, not only a wonderful human being, but a boss of mine, works at Lake Michigan Credit Union, is also the president of the MMLA this year, state board president. We have Kate McDougall with us here today. So excited to have you. Kate, hello.
Hey, Steve, how are you? I am extra.
You know what? That's what makes things fun, though, right?
Right.
Well, thanks for being on this and giving us your time today, Kate. I really look forward to it. Um, you have quite a bit of accolades in this industry. Can you tell us a little bit about all the acronyms that go along with your name?
All of the letters behind my name. I am a accredited mortgage professional through the MBA's School of Mortgage Banking series. That's an AMP. I'm also happy to tell you I'm a CMB, which is a certified mortgage banker. Again, that's through the Mortgage Bankers Association. And what's very cool about the CMB, and I'm very proud of it, it's the highest designation that a loan officer or anybody in our industry, for that matter, can receive through the Mortgage Bankers Association. It's a designation that an individual works toward throughout their entire career. It culminates with a class, a test, a 6-hour test, and then a in-person interview with a panelist of other CMBs from across the country. And it's like I said, it's one of the things I'm probably most proud of. I think in the state of Michigan there are now 36 of us, and 3 or 4 of those CMBs in the state of Michigan are right here with LMCU. So pretty proud of that. And I am currently the sitting president for the Michigan Mortgage Lenders Association, the Michigan arm of the Mortgage Bankers Association.
Well, thank you. That is certainly a great accomplishment and a great honor. So you should be proud of earning those accomplishments, especially the CMB. I know how much work that is, and hopefully someday I'll be sitting on stage the same way with my own CMB. So
Now I know you
uh,
will be.
well, thank you. So Kate, you've had a great long-standing mortgage career, and I think one of the main things we want to do with this podcast is for our membership or people who are interested in it, is to understand the people who make up our organization. So can you tell us about your career, where you started, and where you are now?
I sure can, and I'll tell you, it's a wonderfully long, glorious story. Just kidding. Uh, I started about 27 years ago, specifically in lending, but it started with just what I knew, how to help people. Uh, I was a banker actually, and customers would come in and they would sit down at my desk, and this is like during DOS days, and I didn't know how to run the computer, and they would tell me what they need, and of course I couldn't do a damn thing. So I'd write it all down, and they would ask me, can you help me with X, Y, or Z? And I'd be looking at their account like, my God, you owe the entire world and God some money. And I would help them consolidate debts with equity products or refer them to lenders and that kind of thing. And one of the mortgage bankers in the branch said to me one day, "How come you don't just write mortgages?" And I thought, well, I don't know. And so I decided one day that I would do that. So that's what I did. I switched jobs from from a licensed banker to a mortgage loan officer. That was even before NMLS, and didn't know what I was getting into. Eyes wide shut. I jumped into lending, and sort of the rest is history. And I've enjoyed it ever since. Because it is that sense of helping people. I didn't realize sincerely when I got in uh, the impact that lending and mortgages and home ownership would have on or could have on individuals. I just thought it was getting paid for something I actually knew how to do.
Yeah, definitely. I think one of the most amazing things as you progress in your career as a mortgage professional is seeing the amount of generational wealth that people can accumulate through the purchase and sale of real estate, right? I mean, I'm a little over a decade into this, and seeing people come back to me with, over $100,000 in equity is a pretty profound thing to see. So I'm sure you probably share that same sentiment.
100%. And again, 27 years I've seen, you know, initial customers then graduate into, repeat customers, and then their children, come in, and then the second home and that kind of thing. And it's really an incredible, it's an incredible thing that we have the privilege of doing, right? I mean, we sincerely get to help people improve their situations, financial situations, not just for today, but for the future, which I think is so cool. I mean, it's an amazing job that we have, and a privilege that we get to do as bankers, as lenders.
I agree. I certainly know that over the last few years, it's probably been tough for a lot of loan officers to realize how awesome the job is of being a mortgage loan officer. But it really is profound when you can help someone with their biggest financial decision and help them, purchase that home. So it really is an impactful job that we do. And obviously, as leadership, you continue to help push us forward as mortgage loan officers and continue with the MMLA to push the legislation that helps our borrowers. So kind of segueing into that, tell us a little bit about your involvement in the MMLA early days, and what it's done for your career, and why you've continued to stay involved, and why you've been a part of the leadership team. Now you're the state board president, and we couldn't be more excited to have you. But we'd love to hear your story.
Yeah, it's easy for me when you ask, why the involvement, that sort of thing, and I'll tell you that joining a club, any club, is nothing, right? If you're going to join something, you've got to join 100%. And so, what does that mean? It means participation, and so I encourage you all, first and foremost, if you're going to join the Lenders Association or anything else, join with a sense of duty, and then affect that, then do. And so my journey into the MMLA, was one. Again, it's, I suppose I do a lot of things this way, right? I join and learn as I go, kind of thing, right? And so, being part of the industry, and working in the industry, I think it's important to understand what you do, and the industry in which you work, and some of all of those facets that go along with it. And the Lenders Association, for me, it was first a way to network and meet peers in the industry, not just those that I worked with my own company, but then those outside of that, expanding that, learning from those people, I think, is a huge piece. Never stop learning, right? We learn from each other, and I think that that's a huge piece. And then the other piece of that is, as we've talked about, the opportunity that we have to affect other people's lives. It goes well beyond just 30-year fix, 15-year fixed, adjustable, whatever, right? It goes into legislation. How do we do that? How is credit run? What type of products are out there? How do we measure values, that sort of thing. So it's really getting involved and opening up my eyes to all of those things that go into the industry, and then down into the origination piece that I actually work in. The segments are tremendous. And so I'm not really sure what the question was, but that doesn't surprise me. Anyway, that's how I get involved, right? Got involved because someone invited me, and then decided to roll up my sleeves.
So it's obviously been a great thing for you in your career to be a part of the MMLA. What can you say? Is there a moment where you ever realized, like, hey, the MMLA has really pushed my career to a point where I can't imagine where it would be without it?
Oh yeah, I think truly, and I'll never forget it. I can actually think of the day I was sitting in a boardroom in Lansing at a state board meeting for the MMLA, and I was surrounded by all of these other people in the industry, and it was just, just listening to them speak, I was just awed by sort of what they were saying, and who they were, and what their credentials were, and I thought, dang, these people are something else. you know I want to be like Ike, right? I wanted to be like those
Yeah,
guys, and
for
that was
sure.
it. I wanted to be somebody at that table who had some value. I wanted to be that person. I wanted to be like them, and so I remember it, like I said, and it was actually raining that day, just for what it's worth too. But I do remember it. It was learning and listening to other people. It was cool.
That's pretty cool. Not only did you find the opportunity, but you found the motivation within the MMLA to be a better person and be a better mortgage professional. So that's pretty cool. I appreciate you sharing that with us.
Yeah.
I feel like I've had some similar moments. This podcast being one of those things where I couldn't imagine, I wouldn't be doing this without the MMLA. So definitely resonate with that. Um, One big question I wanted to discuss with you, and sometimes this is a sensitive subject, but being a female and a woman, we do like to be mindful of the fact that sometimes in professional settings, the job can be made a little bit more difficult for women. So, how has being a woman impacted your career as a mortgage professional? And what have been the opportunities maybe that you've seen, but also maybe some of the things that have made it more difficult?
Sure. Again, this is one of those things, and I think this is who I am more than anything. I just do. You know, I do. uh, I do everything I can to be the best that I can and to do the best that I can, and I never stop to think, oh, so and so did something and they got something or whatever it may be because they were a man and I wasn't. It never really crosses my mind in that way. And so, God, all the women out there are going, really, Kate, are you kidding me on this? But it's true. I mean, that's just who I am. At the same time, I think it's important, man or woman, to be cognizant of that first and foremost, and to remember, you know, bring up the person who's behind you. You know, we look forward a lot in our careers, but don't forget to look back. Look back at who helped you, what did they do, how did they do it, and then do the same or a little more for the person behind you. Now, with that said, it's a man's world, right? Okay, so maybe it is, maybe it is. And I've been doing this since it probably was a man's world. I grew up in the banking industry. My father was a banker. And I remember when I told him I was going to become a loan officer, he was like, really, Katie, are you sure you want to do that? I'm like, why the hell wouldn't I want to do that? And he
But you
said to
knew.
me, right? He said to me, well, I don't know, but I think Dennis could probably give you a heads up on how hard that job is. And I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa. So Dennis can do it, but I can't. Dennis, by the way, was a loan officer at the establishment, but nonetheless. And Dennis is still in the business today. So anyway, um, you know, challenges for me, if there've been roadblocks, I guess I've just turned a blind eye because, like I said, just do, just do. And so for you as a male in the industry, same thing, let's just do it together. And that's kind of where I look at it. And like I say, we go back into time. What was it, the 70s, before a woman could have a credit card in their own name? Uh, all of these kinds of things. Well, again, I'm looking forward. I'm moving forward and just doing what's right, doing what's best.
I think you bring up some great points, and I know I personally learned from your experience, and um, you know, showing me and telling me that don't let anything stand in your way, right? Like no, any challenges that are in front of you, you can overcome them regardless of what it is, right? If you have the proper mindset, and I think that's where a lot of people maybe misstep. They allow things to hold them back, right? I'm this or I'm that, or I'm not this or I'm not that. So that is definitely a great point. I love that you can have that mindset of, hey, no matter what, I'm moving forward regardless of what anyone says. So that's really powerful. So I appreciate you, sharing that with us. Um, okay, can you share anything that LMCU is pushing or doing right now to help the lending industry?
Yeah, absolutely. We start with our own, right? So the first thing that we offer is to any loan officer who's on our team, and beyond, we offer them the opportunity to learn. So we've had guest speakers come into LMCU to speak directly to our loan officers with regard to the NAR settlement, and how is that going to affect business going forward? How is it going to affect our business going forward? We like to stay on top of those topics that are out there. We also, through this year, we had the opportunity to work with the Mortgage Action Alliance. For those of you who don't know, that is a grassroots group who advocate for the mortgage industry, specifically trigger leads was a big deal. We're working to help get those minimized. And so again, LMCU encouraged everyone to get involved with that kind of thing on a ongoing basis. We've got a conference coming up in September that we're looking forward to, helping everyone, loan officers, realtor partners, et cetera, alike, understand what a value proposition is, how to prepare a value proposition is, establish a process once you have established your value prop, and then execute on that in a way such that you will set yourself apart from all of your competitors, giving you an advantage and an edge in the industry. So those are a couple of things that we do. And then we do offer ongoing continuing education programs for our realtor partners out there. I'm excited that we are able to do that on all kinds of topics. We will be hosting some construction to perm conferences and seminars coming up here in October, where we will educate not only our realtor partners, but also our membership. What is a construction loan and how do I get one? It's kind of a cool thing when you talk about housing in a general sense, and the fact that inventory is light. We've heard that, I think, for years now. And as we increase inventory, one of the ways to do it is to build a new house. How do you do that? We'll help you with that. So kind of excited about those things. And as I say, they're ongoing here at LMCU, and we're fortunate here at LMCU to be able to take advantage of some of those tools.
Yeah, I mean, we really have a lot of opportunities out there, and LMCU has really invested in the community, which includes the real estate community. So I'm proud to hang my hat here, just like you are.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So with that, Kate, I want to leave us on a high note. I think if I'm going to do a podcast, I want to make sure that I'm adding value and I'm giving something positive back to our community. So I'm going to ask everyone that I host on this podcast to give me their one positive spin or one positive thing that they see going on in the mortgage industry.
Buy your house now, right? I mean, here's the good news. We collectively here in the state of Michigan, and I can speak for elsewhere, right? There are plenty of very good loan officers out there partnering with very good realtors out there who are dedicated to helping each individual find and purchase the right home for them. And there is no time like right now to do that, because right now your future begins. And so I'm excited about that. Let's roll. Go buy that house. Go do that.
Heck yeah. I am all on board with that. People ask me when's the best time to buy a house. I say yesterday. The next best time is today. So, and I really, at least in our community, I know that we totally believe that, because values just are going to continue to rise. There's no end in sight, and the supply issue. So those home prices, regardless of where interest rates are going to go, will continue to climb. So thank you for sharing that. It is a great time to buy. As long as you're ready for it, then we're here to help you. So Kate, I want to say thank you and appreciate you for your time today. And hopefully you'll catch us next time on the MMLA podcast. Thanks again, Kate.
Thanks, Steve.
All right.
See ya.